Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Pie Records, and I'm here with Mark, Jason, and Jim from the Breakers. How are you guys?
We're doing
Excellent.
good. How you doing out there?
Real good.
Great. What's it like in Chicago today?
It's 90 degrees and humid, but humans are out at a fair down the street from us here. So
It's too hot.
it's nice, even with the heat and the humidity.
It's glad to have you. I'm a big picture glad. I'm glad everybody's out and they're tired of staying in. They're getting out, they're going to shows,
very
stuff
much
like
so.
that. Yeah. So I want to talk about how we met, Jim and I, talking on Facebook for quite a while, and it's nice to meet Jason and Mark as well. But we had you on Pure Idiot Radio. The Breakers are one of my favorite new bands that I've discovered.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you, man. Thank you.
Through Jim. And it fits right in with our radio program, right in between like the hardcore, punk, surf, rockabilly, acoustic. It fits right in the middle there, which I thought was really refreshing. So let's start by talking about how you got the idea for the Breakers. Where did it all start?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I first walked into an open mic that Mark was playing, and I running and playing.
Yes.
And I'd played guitar for a long time, then kind of put it away for a corporate career, family, and having kids and all that kind of stuff. And but started playing out again a little bit. And a friend of ours who worked at the same place,
The bartender
Freddie,
Yep.
said, "You got to come over here. It's really good musicians from Chicago. Just come play some surf stuff." And I figured, I don't think anybody around here knows who the Bel Airs are, or the Pyramids, or maybe, but maybe I'm playing by myself on this. So I carefully programmed 6 songs into a Digitech drum pedal, and I figured I'd come and just do a one-man surf thing with a reverb tank and a drum pedal. And as soon as I got in there and talked to Mark, he said, "Just put the drum pedal away. I love that stuff. I'll play with it." And I think I know a bass player who would love to play the stuff too. So let's just talk at the end and we'll kind of get together and do it. And I've never used that drum pedal. Still,
if I get a chance, I think I might take a bat to it. He doesn't need it. If I'm around, he does not need it.
and we really quickly not only became kind of bandmates pretty quickly, but kind of running buddies and friends. And I was saying earlier, my daughter, I find out my daughter asks Mark for advice when I think she doesn't trust me on. So, it's like an extended family, it's pretty cool. But pretty cool. That was about 3 years ago.
I never wanted. Is that right?
Yeah, but you're stuck with us now.
Tell me a little bit about the album that you sent me.
Yeah,
because I think people would love to hear your take on surf music.
Yeah, so I like to think of we've had a couple of albums here. We started out with one called Transmissions from a Hornet Free Environment, and then one called Voodoo Treatment, and we had a lot of stuff set up to play live after that, and obviously things happened where all those things got aligned through them one after the other. And so we just went back in and started working on other things we had drafted. We had a compilation that we put together for, I'll get to your question in a second, but we had a compilation we put together with the other instrumental bands in the area for the Illinois COVID Relief Fund, and worked with those guys to donate the proceeds to the fund when that was needed.
We figured if we can't play out, we might as well try to do something
Positive.
positive to help everybody out.
Yeah, and I'd mentioned to one of our friends while we were out for a beer, there's some good instrumental bands around here that either have played or are playing. Not a lot of them, but they're all really good. 13 Tikis and Cocktail Preachers and Spies Who Surf Dan
Peters.
And I said somebody should put together a compilation for this and give do a charity thing. And one of our friends said, "Why, stop being lazy, man. Why don't you do it?" So I contacted everybody, and I'll come back to that one. But the EP we just put out has a lot of what I think we're starting to develop as a band. That's kind of surf music is the backbone, And then every song we've got kind of, we collectively have a picture of what emotion we want to convey and maybe some visual behind it. And sometimes that comes from the title first. Sometimes it comes from a riff, and sometimes it comes from just, we're talking about stuff. And it would be cool if somebody wrote a song that's about, your travel through life and family and getting married, people dying, people being born. And then you start getting an emotion around it and think about a melody and a beat that'll convey that. And I think that's, and then every once in a while we come up with a weird idea like the Moldau or something where we, let's get some of our friends in and contribute and do a cover or something. It's a little odd for the genre.
Yeah, like we've had our buddy Chris come in and play on cello. We know him. He's the manager of a local restaurant Jim and I go to like at least a few times a week, and we've had my cousin come in and play saxophone on some stuff, and just trying to build this community and just have people come out. And if they enjoy music, there's no reason why you can't enjoy this also,
Yeah. All talented guys. And I think with our songs, there's always kind of an emotional content. And I think we think of the albums and even the EP is also like a big song that's got an emotional flow through it, or parts that feel a little different ways, and some up, some down.
We try to make it like a nice little roller coaster. So it's a journey. When you listen to it from beginning to very end, it brings you somewhere.
Like chapters in a book.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. So, Jim, you are doing a lot, and Jason and Mark, you guys are doing a lot right now, gearing up to play shows, recording. Yes. Tell me about what you have going on now.
Yeah, we're about a song away from, believe it or not, our fourth album, I guess, fourth concluding the EP. And in the middle of that, we've done some stuff for a compilation for the Surf Raiders and Bob Daly. That's gonna be coming out. Once we're done with that, shows.
Yeah, shows.
Then it's practice and back to live stuff just in time when everything's opening up here.
Right awesome. Now I got my day job. I got this. I have another band I play with, and it's just great because I get to do so many different facets and styles of music. One, I don't get bored, and each one helps the other one down the line.
Yeah.
So I can pull from this group. I can pull from this group, this genre, this genre, and it just, for me, it makes it interesting.
Yeah, it makes the music a lot richer too.
Yeah, you're living the drummer's life.
Yeah, but I'm not homeless.
Yeah. She hasn't kicked him out yet.
That's hilarious. So, what's special about the new stuff you're working on, as compared to the last EP and the album?
We're definitely pulling from a lot of different genres and styles on this one that we didn't before. There's like one song we're doing where it's almost like a Rush, how would I say, like a Rush overture type of thing, like a 2112 intro type of deal, but then it goes right into like a hard surf beat. And then there's others that are just really laid back, almost like a Pink Floyd type of a sound, and just out there, but really cool. And
yeah,
I mean, we're adding different percussion things. Jim's adding different sounds with his guitar. Jay's doing different things with his bass, either picking, laying back, playing maybe a jazz groove or something. What do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, there's just so much kind of music out there. And, it's hard to just say you're into one thing. I mean, honestly, I've been listening to a lot of Alice in Chains lately. Who knows? Maybe the next riff I come out will be a little darker than the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just so much different kinds of music. It's hard, when people ask me, well, who's my favorite band? You mean this week?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of, that's what I said. We kind of use the surf stuff as the backbone.
Right.
And then we bring a lot of other stuff. We've got some pretty pure surf tunes on this. We've got some stuff that sounds like, maybe like Husker Du missing a vocal, part. And then we're going to do a cover of the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which is some interesting parts to it.
Like Jim and I have been talking about that one for like a
Couple
year and a
years,
half, 2 years at least. We finally figured out a way that this should be able to work for this style. And from what the rough drafts we have so far from the recordings, excuse my language, it sounded pretty fucking badass.
Awesome. Now you guys mentioned cello and saxophone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How does that translate with the music that you're doing? How's it coming out?
I think I think it's come out really well. We've got our cello player, Chris, who Mark mentioned, who's able to make it in periodically. Not only runs a couple restaurants for his family, but he used to be a cello player in a punk band in Chicago. So he's used to making the cello fit. And so he plays for the Lakeview Orchestra and has a huge chunk out of the top of his cello from what he used to play in clubs and stuff. But
it's interesting.
Yeah. He first played on our the title track of our last album, Voodoo Treatment. And we were talking about maybe bringing him in for a while to play on something he wanted to play. And I said, I got something for you. And he said, what is it? I said, it's going to be like a Wolfman thing. And he looked at me and said, Jimmy, I have no idea what that means.
Nobody understood what you
and I said,
on that
it's in my head. Just wait, I'll play it for you. You'll understand. It's like a gypsy, Lon Chaney. And as soon as he heard, he goes, just give me a couple days with this and I'll be in. So it works okay, and he's used to, he can Hendrix it up on the cello a little bit too, which works.
Awesome. And as far as my cousin Dan Clapman, who plays the saxophone, he did that throughout like junior high, high school. He played a little in college. Then he got his law degree, started a family, put that down.
But still a stellar musician.
Yeah, and I asked him like, hey, do you want to sit in with my other band? So he'd show me videos of him at the office practicing the saxophone. Then I showed it to Jim, and Jim was like, hey, why don't we get him on one of our songs?
Yeah.
So we asked him, and he said, I'll be more than happy. He lives, I'd say, walking distance, 3 minutes from the studio.
Yeah. And, and we should mention
it's really cool. And like I said, everything's kind of like a close-knit family type of a thing, at least with us.
Yeah. And we've got a couple of other buddies who chip in from time to time, and it works.
Like Bruno chips in every now
and then. And Matt, and
Yep.
I talked to him the other day.
Do you guys have a basic idea of what you want the guest players to play, or do they come up with their own parts?
A little bit of both. We usually give them a track, and it's kind of how we do things too. Like Mark will bring something in, or I'll bring a melody in, or Jason will bring something in, and the guys that come in, it's the same way that we do it. We'll have a basic idea, but let everybody add their own. Yeah,
their
own sauce.
Let them create.
So everybody's got the basic track and can kind of work around that a little bit. Usually, it's been rare that we got to stop and say this isn't working. We just keep going until it we've got a cohesive picture, and everybody knows the what the song's trying to drive and what we're trying to get across when we're playing it. So everybody gets on the same page pretty quickly, I think.
Awesome.
It's like what was it? Before we did the second album, or we were in the middle of recording it, I went to a Slipknot show, came back, and I was like, hey, I got this great idea for a song, and Jim already had something written out, but he had it on the shelf. So I started playing this drum beat, and he's like, I got the perfect riff for it. And that's where Vodka Sonic came out.
Yeah, didn't we lay it down that same day?
Yeah, laid it down that same day. It was like 2 takes, done.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just like we were saying earlier, like we're taking stuff from all different genres and trying to meld it into what we wanted what we wanted to sound like.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So I'm so happy you guys did this today. I had 4 interviews, like I said before. I was looking especially forward to this because Jim and I have been talking back and forth for quite a while, and he's been sending me some great stuff, some of the stuff you're working on, and I really liked it, and I was honored and privileged to hear some of the new stuff firsthand, like right from you guys. So I know people are going to be really stoked to hear it.
I
thank
hope
you,
so.
man.
It's
Awesome.
we're close. We're trying to push the fourth baby out here, in short order, so we can start playing again. But we really it's our privilege to be on. You're kind of becoming the magnetic North Pole.
Yes,
for
dude. Like,
thank
thank you for having us on the show. Like,
Right.
it means a lot to us. We're very humbled by it.
The interviews are always great, and you always learn what's how people are thinking about their own work, and we listen to all the stuff that's
Yeah,
sounds, so it's good to hear
the
the
good, the
stories.
bad, and not to be making a pun, even the ugly.
It's
We
I get so much out of it. Everybody has a different reason for doing what they do, especially musicians. And I learned
Very
so
true.
much. I learned so much and meet so many great people. It's a labor of love, and I do it because there's nobody around me to talk music with. So I get to talk. I get to talk music with people, with musicians who we can kind of speak the same language. So
yeah.
Oh, easily, yeah.
And that, I think that's particularly present in this genre. I mean, it's such a supportive community.
yeah.
And it's such cool music. It's emotion. You don't have somebody telling you a story. You can kind of get your own head around it. And the riffs
That's
are
what I
usually
said.
just magnetic, Yeah.
And we've made a lot of friends along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
We like some of the bands that Jimmy mentioned. We've done shows with them, and
Going to be
Yeah.
doing shows with them.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and going to be doing shows with them.
That's a big
again.
thing to look forward to. And here, I mentioned before we had a bad connection earlier, when we were starting out here, we've got a good friend, Brad Nye, who played in a real seminal Chicago band called Dick Holiday and the Bamboo Gang. And all those guys became professional musicians in different realms, and they still play together every once in a while. And he managed tours for Van Halen and Hall & Oates, and produces stuff in Nashville now and stuff. There was a point where he said, you guys, I got to get you into the studio where we're at here now, because you guys got to start recording. You got to put some of this down.
It was literally
And-
just that simple.
Yep. And Craig Williams, who's our kind of however many members we have ancillary here,
Four.
kind of our
Fourth.
fourth kind of ghost member here is just a fantastic coach, and at Dr. Kaw Studios, where we are now, and continue to record on the other thing when we're done here.
Yeah,
The next thing, it's not atypical to hear him say stuff like,
he doesn't pull punches.
"Hey, that was a great song. That was a great take, except for the entire guitar part. So let's do it again." We're out there.
Like, hey, this time could you try playing in key?
Yeah. Or, hey, Mark,
Mark,
that was great, but I don't know what song you're playing
Mark,
to. It's not this
Mark,
one.
that was great. Maybe be in time and don't play what you were doing.
Yeah.
So
So it's like,
do you guys track live as a band?
yes.
Yeah, we do. And
Yeah,
we do a kind of a combination. There's sometimes we'll come in and do
use-
some stuff over, but
Like, I'll use the click track. So I have the click track in my headphones while we're playing live. I told them not to have it anywhere in their headphones. Just listen to me.
it
and
works
then I
better
just-
that way because you got to swing.
And
you
I
gotta
just have
swing.
them in my headphones, and somehow we make that work as like a live feel, but still with the click. So if we have to punch something in, we're able to. If we want to, like Jim sometimes wants to come in and throw another solo or
Jimmy
a different
Page it a little
part
bit.
or something
Yeah.
like that. Or if Jay wants to go, hey, I didn't really like that part. Could I just redo this? I'm thinking of something different here. It's that much easier.
These
do it
I
that
mean,
way.
we do it both ways,
Yeah,
I mean,
but usually we start out live, and we all get the good groove down, and I have this Surfy Bear tank that I play through all the time now. It's on like every maybe there's
Every
a-
song.
Yeah. But there's some other stuff that most of the special effects are live. They're not studio. They're me figuring out, how different effects can work. What's the best way to make a variety of dinosaur noises, and
Or like when you bring in the theremin.
I've got the theremin right over there on the couch, I think. But yeah, so a lot of this to me too is sonic. The guy bringing in some stuff from like the Cocteau twins, where maybe you've got Cocteau twins, where you've got like maybe a little underlying feedback, and and making that live so we can go out and do the same thing live and have the same oral effect and the same emotion and all that kind of stuff.
It's some producers and engineers like to record clean and then add effects later on.
Yeah.
But is, from my experience, having my guitar direct into the amp and playing with the effects affects my playing totally. Like if I don't
totally does.
If it doesn't respond like that, like the strings don't even feel right.
Right. Yeah. Then it's too, if I don't have a lot of reverb, it feels like I'm playing like a different instrument. Or so if I hear myself too much in the mix, and I think we're all a little bit like that inside. And the other thing I think, Ryan, that you get is if we a lot of times we'll come in with stuff kind of 78-ish% done. We know we're going to get,
sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more.
Less. But then you get the live spark. You get the hey, we changed it up a little bit in that take and it completely worked.
Sometimes it just completely changes the song also.
Yeah.
And
but we run with it.
The added advantage is the eye contact and body language, the playing live.
Oh yeah,
very much so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about
Sure.
about the studio you're in. Tell me where
the studio we're in. Here's the guy
funny.
who can tell you right now. This
is his studio.
Craig Williams just walked in down here. So
hi, Craig.
That's Craig. He's produced all of our stuff and coached us up. And we just got done saying how you're frequently saying things like that's a great take, except for the entire guitar part. Or
Mark, why don't you try playing like
the song
drums to the song instead of something else?
That's kind of the procedure,
yeah. And
Craig's had a long history in Chicago music.
Plus,
gotta have an objective opinion.
Everything that we create in the studio.
Yeah. So Craig can tell you a little bit about the studio, and Ryan was just asking about the studio and tell us a little bit about where we are.
It's a Pro Tools studio these days, converted from analog 2-inch tape machines. I've been doing it for 45 plus years.
Man, you're freaking old.
Wow. I am.
Doesn't look it.
I've been doing it a long time, and the gear through the years has shifted. There's more digital things in here. There's still a lot of old analog stuff that we use. I don't know. Got questions?
Yeah. What you're the first audio engineer and producer that I've spoke to on the show, and I'd like to know how you get the best performance out of the breakers.
I get them beers. That's a good question, because in the end, I found through the years, it's the more comfortable you make people, the better results you get. If I make these guys uncomfortable, it's going to be a tough night.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it's that, and making sure they're hearing themselves the way they want to hear themselves, and helping them with parts. If there's problems with their parts, I can kind of talk to them about it a little bit and
smooth out the edges.
You have a little input on the arrangements and things like that.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've produced a lot through the years, so I've seen a lot of different producers come through here, so I've learned to step in when I can to help.
That's awesome.
And help he does.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the bands that people might know that you've worked with?
They're primarily local bands, so I wouldn't expect. I mean, you've probably heard of Styx.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
They're probably the best known band I worked with. Dave Mason. You remember a guy named Dave Mason?
Yep.
Did some work with him.
Nice. Who else? Michael McDermott, right?
Michael McDermott. I don't think he would know Michael McDermott. He probably wouldn't know Freddie Jones either.
Nope.
These are local bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of local bands that have done well. Nick Tremulous and guys like that. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you could probably look through, I think on my website, which is down right now, I had a list of 500 plus bands through the years.
Lindsey Buckingham was on there too, right? At some point, I think.
No,
right? No, maybe
I
not.
don't think so.
Maybe I'm thinking Dave Mason.
Oh,
Yeah. No, Lindsay wouldn't be on there, but I had a huge list, and you might recognize 4 people.
Didn't you ever work with Billy Corgan?
No.
Oh,
Made some tape copies for him once. Some
So-
cassettes.
could have been a dream,
something that I really like to hear and can totally notice the difference is when a band records live to tape, tape in quotes. Was that your idea, or did the Breakers come to you and say, this is how we would like to get our sound down?
You're saying tape?
Well, live,
Instead of-
record live.
Instead of drums and then guitar and bass, or just all of us at once.
Yeah.
Oh, live, you're talking. Oh.
Yeah, live. Yeah.
That was their idea. I mean, they've been practicing and stuff, so they came in and we just plugged everything in. A lot of times, a lot of bands I work with, you plug everything in and you listen to it and you go, okay, you sit out and you sit out. Let's just work on bass and drums.
Uh-huh.
You know, and sometimes you split it down. But these guys they're primarily a live band. I mean, we do track things separately just because of schedules, because they're all playing in so many different bands. I think we can't get them in here at the same time.
Just this guy.
well, actually, that's not entirely true.
Lindsey Buckingham just texted. He wants to come over and record later tonight now.
There you go.
I know. I was thinking Dave Mason.
That's
I have
awesome.
the same 70s part of my brain.
So I want to mention that you guys are on the new Continental Comp.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Pie Records released Black Valley Moons on there. So
Right. That's great tune on there.
when I saw you that we were on the same comp, I was like, all right, I need to talk to this guy. We need to talk to the band. The Breakers are just seem to be doing really well.
Thank you, man.
Which I'm very happy for you. But are you putting your new record out yourself? Is it going to be pressed?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we put it out with somebody. We haven't gotten that far because we've just been just doing stuff like a freight train. So
yeah,
we'll put it out, produce it, and then Sean Berry's been carrying it, through Double Crown and on the Continental compilation, all that stuff. But hey, we think about it. It's the next thing to do that we haven't done.
Like as of right now, it's just mainly us doing
and
all
then,
the work like it used to be back in like the 80s. A lot of footwork here and
Yeah.
just going out, meeting people, passing stuff out, word
yeah.
of mouth,
yeah, a lot of
like
it's a lot more of
grassroots
it's
type of-
digital now.
grassroots type of stuff. And Jim does the digital.
Yeah.
We've done our own videos and
Who waxes the boards?
Yeah, we don't
We don't
have
have-
that guy yet.
yeah, right. We don't have that guy yet. It's the Breakers. We just break them when we're done with them. We don't have to wax.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's we'll get this done. Then we'll think about where we're going with it. We an interview with us showed up in Pipeline magazine this last turn as well, which was
It was a really good one.
little surprising. I thought we were just going to have a review in there when I got the package from those guys. And I was in the middle of a work conference call and opened it up and saw a 5-page spread with an interview and a picture of us. And I think I said something that might have been a 4-letter word in the middle of the work meeting, but I was like, hey, sorry, I was just surprised here.
Well, it sounds like
it's
hit.
nice.
It sounds like hit with an S in front.
You already dropped an F-bomb, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did apologize though. I did apologize and warned everybody first. So,
That's
my
okay.
bad. My bad.
This is YouTube. It doesn't matter. Anything goes.
Uh,
Well, almost anything. So,
Any idea?
so thank you so much. I want to make sure I cover everything. What have I left out that I haven't asked you about that you might want to talk about?
Maybe pets' names. I was going a little more PG.
equipment.
Yeah.
Equipment, that's good.
Reverb tanks, drums, bass.
Jim,
Let's talk about it.
Jim, you start. Jim, you
Okay,
start with it because you have the most.
Yeah, mainly I'm a Strat guy, but I've got a lot of
You have
stuff.
different guitars.
Yeah, I've got a kind of a collection, but mainly a Strat guy, and with some modifications to a few of them to get a little bit more of a Jaguar sound out of a little bit of a blend knob adjustment to a couple of them. They all sound a little bit different. Most of the time they stay in tune. But then I have a really nice Hallmark guitar and a couple of Dean Zielinski guitars. A fellow here who started Dean Guitars and then peeled off into Dean Zielinski private label now. He's a great guy. And I'll play in the studio usually either through a Bassman or an AC30. And I've got the reverb tank I've just gone to just because it's awesome. Is the Surfy Bare Metal.
Surfer Joe.
That's become, yeah, absolutely. Surfer Joe and Ted and Bjorn. These guys have a fantastic product, and
those guys are just fun.
They're great guys. We got a chance to play with Lorenzo and Peter and Jean Paul right before a little bit before all this stuff started in the Chicago area. And great guys. And then I have an effects board that has everything from a couple different tape echo effects that I can switch around a little bit, a volume wah pedal, it's a more volume wah pedal. It's got a quality control on the side, which I keep thinking the more I turn up, maybe the quality of the guitar playing will get better, but it's not working so well. And I've got
he keeps trying though.
Yeah, I've got a feedback pedal that I use to do some of the kind of processed feedback without having to really blow out the walls and blend that in with some of the echoes. And I've got some esoteric stuff from like Mr. Black, but where like ambience pedals and a couple of other. I've got a Source Audio reverb pedal that I mainly use for the tremolo on it, which is fantastic. And what else? Amps? Couple of here I'll just usually use a Bassman or a Vox AC30. Live I usually use a Vibrolux that I just love. I love the sound that comes out of that thing. I've had it here a couple of times. But the main thing is the reverb, and then some of the conditioning if I want some ambience around it. A couple of fuzz pedals that I switch in and out, and a couple of other weird things, some octave sweep pedals, and so every once in a while I can get some backwards guitar, and there are some weird sounding stuff that sounds like it comes from space. Yeah,
nice.
TC Electronic pedals are fantastic. I use.
Oh, this will only take a second. I play bass. No, I got a jazz bass, which I love. I've had that thing forever. Recently, last year for my birthday, my so-called best friends / bandmates got me a
so-called. That's the last time you get a birthday present called a so-called best friends.
Well, maybe that came out wrong. But anyway, they got me a Thunderbird, which sounds great on the recordings, and I love playing with it, especially for the recordings. And live, I'd probably bust out, depending on which one was recorded on which bass. I'll probably decide, I'd switch it up.
Yeah.
Depending on what sound we're looking for this.
The heavier songs get the Thunderbird.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think I forgot about it. I've got a few synth pedals and some of the weird stuff, a couple weird things that you hear on our records. It'll be theremin. And there are a couple weird things that sound like theremin. They're actually a guitar being piped through a few pedals.
Interesting.
And then usually I have to remember what the heck I did. Yeah.
Pterodactyl sounds.
But I'll hear something that one song we have, Mesozoic Melee, has just a jungle beat and dinosaur noises pretty much. And I heard one very specific fuzz pedal, and somehow immediately it clicked into my head that, if I put that through a pitch shifter pedal, I got to get one of those. You start thinking what you could combine it with and what sounds and kind of paintings you could create with it. And it absolutely worked. It absolutely worked. It's maybe the only thing that particular pedal works for, but works great for them.
Awesome.
Man, as far as I go, I'm still using my Pearl Export series drum kit from '88 that I started on. I have upgraded the snares, so I have a nice 13-inch pork pie, and use Zildjian cymbals, Iron Cobra single pedal or double pedal, depending on how big the venue is and what I feel like doing that day. Vic Firth sticks, 5B all natural wood tip. In the studio, I use the studio kit. It just a lot easier because I don't feel like lugging all that stuff up and down the stairs. Come in, do something for 20 minutes, like, okay, break it down, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I use the studio kit, which sounds amazing here. You know, he just picked up a new ride cymbal that I can't wait to check out.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Those pork pies, our drummer uses pork pie. And,
oh, no shit. It's used.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
We play, we're a punk rock band, but
Nice.
he's a jazz drummer.
Definitely. Yeah.
Professionally, that's what he does for a living. He plays Philly in jazz clubs. So
That's sweet.
He's a hard hitter though, so you would never notice. But yeah,
I've been told I hit kind of hard.
Yeah, and so you wouldn't notice that he's a jazz player and he plays it as, he generally plays pretty soft.
Oh yeah.
But the recordings we have, it sounds like he's got this giant Iron Maiden kit behind him.
Oh yeah, I haven't even brought out the Rototoms yet, or the Octobans or anything like that. The wood blocks, the cowbells. I have all these little bells and whistles. I just haven't even thought of bringing yet because it hasn't needed it in the song per se.
Right.
To date.
We'll get there.
Well, now that you're thinking about it.
Right. You got a rain stick now.
Yeah, I got
And chimes.
some chimes, some rain sticks, just for background ambient things for some of our new album.
Oh, nice. I like rain
I know in the
sticks sound cool.
Oh yeah, that's just gonna be something in the background. So if you're just sitting there thinking of it's raining outside and you got that going on, and then you hear our tune.
That's interesting. And
these are the stupid things where we think of how we should make a song sound good.
I brought in a washboard one time. Nobody liked that idea but me.
We still agree with you on that.
Right.
No, seriously though, those aren't stupid things to think about. You have to figure out a way to make it sound as real as possible, right?
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's a creative effort on your part.
Sometimes give me a few beers and I'm like, hey, we should check this thing out.
Right.
We should go over here. Everybody thinks we're going right. We should go completely left. And then Jim either goes, I think I see what you're saying, or you got to talk to me in like English so I can understand what you're saying instead of your drum talk.
Is it the A part or the B part?
Yeah, like the one time we were doing a song and I'm like, are we doing the A part or the B part? And I'm like, no, the B part is now the A part. Like, okay, so basically, like, what drum beat am I doing here? Because I already have everything locked down.
No, it's the A part.
Like, okay, your C part is the A part. The A part is the C part. The B part is the B, but it switches to the A.
He doesn't get frustrated that often.
And I slam the door. I'm like, let's just get this everything done really quick. I don't know what you're talking about, but I think I understand. You guys are aggravating me. It worked. It sounds great.
Awesome.
It was fun. I just continued to aggravate you for a little bit too. Like, didn't know we were doing it intentionally.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were intentionally doing that. I thought they were dead serious. Like, no, we switched the parts around. And I didn't know they were just trying to light a fire underneath me.
Yeah.
What about the G part?
I mean, it worked. Oh, I don't play in G.
Oh, good.
G's a happy chord.
Yeah.
Yep, can't play in that one.
All right, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to add? How can people get in contact with you if they want to book you, get you out on the road?
The best place to go is our band. Best place is our Bandcamp page. It's got the phone number, email, contact information, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
you
it's-
get to our YouTube, our merch,
Right.
our
and that's
basically our everything from our
that
Bandcamp
is-
site. And Jim's gonna pull it up for you in just a second here.
yeah, that's
Because I always
that's-
forget what it is.
the Breakers one at bandcamp.com, and we've got our own
Oh, I pull that
business
back a
cards
little.
here that
There you go.
Nice.
that have
Dude,
a
what
little
kind
bit
of
of
phone
an
is that?
LED.
Oh,
It
it's,
says a business card.
it's a
That's
business
our-
card.
or
Oh,
our-
that's so cool.
yeah, they're
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to send you one.
yeah. We'll get one over to you. They're
Oh, that
they're
is so cool.
pretty neat. They're-
You guys are the real deal, man.
Thank you
Here you go.
very
Thank you.
much.
We try
Thanks, man.
we try, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. You know,
Yeah,
we really
it's back to work on
we want to
Monday.
have fun. We want to have fun, and I think it comes through in the music that we want to have fun instead of this is what we have to do. It's
Right.
got to be like this. It has to be like
Yeah.
this. It can't deviate from this style. It can't deviate from that.
Yeah.
We can't experiment. We're all about experimenting, having fun, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't. You know.
There it
You know,
is.
you only- there it is.
There it is.
You know, everybody's got day jobs and you know, tough day jobs where we have. You can hear the rain crying for us because we have.
Right.
It's so you might as well have fun with it. Hey, Craig was asking Ryan if you want to you know, say something about your band. The new song you had I thought was pretty cool, but he was asking the name of the band and then
The punk band, yeah.
Oh, Down Division.
Down Division.
Yeah, we're out of Philly and Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And in August we're recording maybe 15 songs, so in some covers. So it'll be the first time we've recorded since 1997.
Holy
wow.
And
It's been a few days.
yeah, it's no new members. We all played together in the 90s, so it's not like
Wow.
it's one guy and then the rest of the guys are new. It's all guys that have played in the band before.
That's sweet.
Cool.
Wow, that's something to look forward
Dude,
to.
congratulations, man.
Thanks. We're very happy.
Really cool.
And we play live to tape as well. That's how we
Oh,
record.
sweet.
There you go.
That's why I mentioned that, because I just always love that feeling of playing in the studio. It seems to me sometimes when you punch the parts that it doesn't sound the same. My guitar tone at least doesn't quite match sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love getting
we
some of
got that.
the randomness and imperfections, and I'm really good at the imperfections part. But you know, it keeps things live, and you got a little spirit. Everything, you know, it's not as it gets a little too bloodless when you do it too much the other way, I think.
Yeah, which reminds me of what I wanted to say earlier. Everything that we do in the studio, we want to be able to do it live.
Yeah. Yes.
Very much
So-
so.
Yeah.
That's how I attack all my drums. I attack that way. Like if I can't reproduce this live, 99.9% of the time I don't want it on the album. Then I'm very hardcore about that. Because
Jim, does that affect how
What
you
if you-
rate
what if I
your
do
guitar
something-
point? Oh, I'm sorry.
It does. It
Oh, it's all good.
does. It does. You know, I think, and that's why if I think of a sound or a tone that I want to use, I try to find a way to do it through some pedals that I can carry with. And I've got a pretty,
Yeah.
you know, the pedal board, it maybe is getting close to the number of guitars, but and I don't use mostly it's reverb and echo, but just to be able to reach for that sound for like one part of one song, you know, that's it does. I mean,
for
I want to be
30
able to do it
seconds.
live with the guys. Yeah. And I want to be able to do it live. So when people get done listening to us, they go, man, I feel like I've just been, you know, punched in the chest. And we've heard that a couple of times. So
but you also don't
Awesome.
know if somebody's listening to the album and they go, "That's my favorite part," and you don't do it live, and they go,
yeah,
"We
well,
missed it."
Yes.
That was our
Yep.
favorite thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're full of it. They're just putting on smokes and mirrors in the studio. They can't do that live.
Yeah.
And I
And-
take that serious.
And even when we've got some guests,
we all do.
you know, like the cello parts and stuff, if Chris can't be with us, I've got a electro harmonics, you know, Mellotron pedal that I can switch in and out and emulate the cello and then go back to guitar a little bit. So you get a little bit of the flavor still
Yeah.
live, you know.
Very much so.
One instrument I do want to ask you about, because Blickenstaff from the Atomic Mosquitoes plays a
Yeah,
theremin. who plays the theremin, and what the hell is that like?
It's tough. it's I think actually it's not there. It's my computer. It's out in the car. It's, you know, we use it on a couple of things here and there. To be a really good theremin player, you got to be really good. I mean, you got to have control. I think the one day we were in here and I was trying to get
pitch also.
like a D and get the pitch, and after about 20 minutes, you're like, it's like a challenge your own fortitude to try to get the right thing at the right time and not have it go squeal off. And, you know, if you want to make science fiction noises with it, that's cool. It's got its place. But the last song and the thing that we've got coming up here will have a pretty prominent theremin part. And it took a long time to
hit the right note.
You did hit the right note and get the right curve between the notes.
Don't we also have it in Recollet and Fitzgerald?
No, that's actually
you.
a guitar going through.
See, like you said earlier, I thought it was the theremin, but no, it's some of it is 40,000 pedals that he uses.
I still think it was funny when you first got it and you were trying to figure out the notes that you wanted, and we're all screwing around, and he was getting mad.
Yeah,
we're all trying to make different sounds, and he's like, guys, I'm trying to figure something out. Stop.
It's tough. I mean, not only is he a great artist, he's a great theremin player. It's tough to do.
That's awesome. I love when that's incorporated into modern music, as opposed to just a sound effect in
yeah.
That being where it came from, I think is really cool, and it kind of lends itself to a cinematic feeling in the song. Would you say?
It totally does. I'll send you a rough of the
100%.
song that I'm talking about when we're done here. You'll get to listen to it. I'd be interested in your feedback.
Oh yeah, totally. And that stuff you sent me the other day, I was like, is he sending me new songs that they haven't even put out yet? And I was like, these are really good. And I'm not sure how far along in the mixing process you are, but they sound pretty solid.
Yeah, I think they're all
We haven't mastered anything.
shaping up really well. We haven't, and we will move things, here and there as we go and get the songs mostly done, and then we've got kind of one more to do and a couple of parts to put in, and then we'll come sit with Craig for hours and
hours and
master
days,
everything, and then we'll start getting it going again.
That's mastering.
Mastering.
Yeah.
We really don't mix.
We really don't. I mean,
we kind of mix as we go.
We go, right.
We get a sound up, we like it, we go, that's fine. And then he goes home with roughs, Jim does, and everybody, and they make comments to me, and then we make a few adjustments and we're done.
For those of my listeners, and me included, tell me what goes into the mastering process. What is that all about? Being either mastered for digital, tape, or vinyl. What is the process you go through? What is different than mixing?
Mastering is a pretty simple process, or it can be. It can be a very complicated one, depending. But I've worked in a lot of different mastering rooms and situations, and you can make it very complicated, or you can just do a real simple, quick job. And the difference is a dB in the end. So it's you want sonically, you want everything to be there, and the way you want it to sound. You want to get it so the way you sound. Well, we do that when we record. We get it where we're happy. Everybody likes their tones. Everybody likes their volumes. Now it's mixed. So mastering really comes down to just getting the level up. Get it up so that it doesn't sound softer than anybody else. Doesn't sound distorted and too loud. And make sure you maintain the levels and tones everybody had.
Awesome.
So we treat it very simple. Everything's very simple.
We're simple folk.
Yeah.
Simple.
A lot of things are really.
I thank you so much. Oh, okay, Craig, what were you saying?
Well, I was just going to say a lot of times people destroy things in mastering. They ruin what they have, and a lot of times they make things that are really bad sound a lot better in mastering. So things can really swing different ways. But we keep it simple. We get it sounding right the way we want it, and then we just get the level up.
Awesome. You put the work in beforehand so that there's less noodling around in post-production.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. So thank you so much, guys. And Craig, thank you for joining us, because I really got some good insight as to what you do as well. And they had before you stepped in, they had nothing but great things to say about you.
Yeah, except the
Thanks.
parts will let it out.
The check is in the mail. Thanks, buddy.
But thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jason. I can't wait to hear the new album when it's done. And congratulations on all the great press you're getting. And it sounds like this is going to be a great year for you guys. So I'm very happy for you. Thank you so much for staying in contact with me, Jim. I really enjoyed our talks, and just you just have a whole lot going on, and it's just great to see a band thriving and working so hard to do what they do.
Yeah.
Thank you so kindly.
Thanks,
man.
Ryan. It's our pleasure to be on.
It was very humbling to be on with you. This was a great time. I don't know what else to say.
It kept us out of the weather
Like,
outside.
Thank you.
Now maybe it's 70 degrees instead of 90 degrees outside.
Yeah,
So it kept us out of the heat for a little bit.
that's how Pennsylvania weather is too. It could be like 20 degrees either direction at any time of the day.
That's why they call it May. It may be 17 and snowing, and it may be 90, and it may be raining. It may be dry. And anyway,
This is why he doesn't tell jokes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and have a blast recording and getting the last bit of recording done and mastering. Thank you, everybody. And be safe out there in Chicago.
thanks, Ryan. We'll be in touch.
You as
Cheers.
well.
You be safe, and thank you for everything.
Thank you, Mark.